And is this your first time with us? Okay, I want to welcome you guys to Grape Expectation. I'm Fireman Steve. This is Garney. We're going to be helping you crush the grapes today. You've got 756 pounds of grapes here. 21 containers, they weigh 36 pounds each. Only reason I bring up the weight, you want to work in tandem because they're very heavy and you don't want to spill the grapes on the floor. This is the crusher destemmer. That's what we're doing today. It's not like the old I Love Lucy show. You don't have to take off your feet and stomp on them. This machine does it for you. You guys are going to pour the grapes in here. Stems are going to come out this side. Everything else, the juice, the skins, the grapes are going to go down that hose into the tub. It's going to make 53 gallons of wine. It's going to fill this up about 2/3 of the way. Next week, you guys, we're going to come for the pressing. That's when it goes out of the tub into the barrel, where it's going to be for about the next 9 months. When we leave here in about 15 minutes, you're going to go over to the wine tower. The professor is going to add a few chemicals to it, a little yeast. He's going to start the fermentation process. And then we recommend drinking heavily between here and there because it's a chemistry lesson. So if you guys want to take a glass of wine with you over there, or if you need some wine, we can open a bottle for you. It's not a problem. So when you start this process, Garney's going to help you guys break down the crates. When you pour the grapes in here, just don't reach your finger into the machine. You want red wine, but you don't want really red wine. You could lose a finger in here. You don't want to do that. And in case they haven't warned you yet, or not warned you, but cautioned you, when you take this wine home next June, don't drink it all right off the bat. You have to show some self-restraint. It's very young wine. Most commercial wineries keep it in the barrel for a year and the bottle for an additional year before they release it to the public. So when you go to Total Wines, you're taking home a 2-year-old bottle of wine. This is a 9-month-old. So there's a big difference between a 9-month-old and a 2-year-old if you ever had kids. So we always say don't open till Christmas. It gets better as time goes on. The prime for this wine is 3 to 5 years. No one's ever actually made it 3 to 5 years, so that's still an urban legend, but it does get, yeah, especially with this blend. I made this exact blend in 2011. Yeah. This is our Bordeaux blend. It's very famous. Is it good? Yes, I had a bottle Tuesday night, and I hadn't had one for about a year. Amazing. I'm not kidding. It was real. I'm like, I couldn't believe it was ours for a minute. It was very, very good. So this will change, and that was 2011. It's 3 years old right now. Completely different than it was a year ago. So especially with this, keep it. You're gonna thank me. It's really, really good stuff. This is a great blend. And like I said, we will add the Petit Bordeaux on Monday, so you don't have to worry about that. Next week, don't look this nice. You're gonna get messy. If you got some friends you can bring with you, because it's a lot more labor intensive, obviously we'll be here to help you, you know. But don't dress nice. Don't wear white, because you will get dirty next week. Okay? And so if there's no questions about this, we're gonna fire it up.
What grapes are we looking at here?
Oh, okay. This is on the top here. They're marked here. These are the Cabernets. Yep. Cabernet. The Cabernet Franc are down here. Merlots are on this side. You're going to notice the different color in the Cabernet Franc. It's almost like a lavender color. It's a much lighter grape. So I'll try to point it out to you when you guys get down there. These are very dark purple. Those are almost lavender in color.
Are all the grapes that's sweet? Okay, are
they're all sweet.
Oh yeah, they're all going to be sweet at this point. In fact, at the end, when we have the 53 gallons of mush there, dip your finger in there, taste it. It's like the best grape juice you ever had. It's very sweet, and it will not be like that next week. It's going to be very young, immature wine. We all make mistakes in our youth, right? So I'm going to fire this thing up.
Can we just start dumping in?
Yeah, yeah.
Need some milk?
Oh yeah.
quite a bit in
I
here.
want to get a picture of Bob.
Completely different than what it tasted a year ago.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's why we come here.
Yeah.
You gotta get the average.
I'm going to do these guys in a minute, and then the one of the other ones ready to go. Kevin will last for 10 hours.
They're gonna go over, take them over, and then I'll give you a plan.
So the grapes fall through here. This shaft spins. It's got all these propellers inside there. This all spins really fast. The grapes get crushed by these propellers in here. The stems get tangled up in here. They get pushed out this side. That's why you saw the stems going out. Then there's an auger at the bottom. Looks like a long corkscrew. That spins, pushes all the grapes, skins, juice forward into the pump. Goes into the hose, down into the tub. I'm going to fire this back up, get you guys a few more bottles of wine. Then I'm going to drain the hose in there. Drain the hose in there. That's why they hire retired firefighters, just for this right here. It's the only reason I got my job. Just a little bit more there.
I thought he was over there. I saw jeans under there.
Stir it up, put it away. People will catch their please.
You want them pretty much like that, all of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise people they don't realize that it's sticking on it. All right. So how many are new? Where's the rest of you? Just you two?
Yeah, well, my husband.
Okay, for you three. Okay. And you haven't done this before, right? No. You saw nothing in my hands, right? What we got? Sure.
That's okay. It was off subject.
Huh?
It was off subject, so that's okay.
That's okay. What we're going to do now is I'm going to have you put your finger in there and I'm going to have you taste this.
It did. It's delicious.
Is that great?
Yes.
It's the best tasting grape juice you're ever going to have. This is not Welch's grape juice. This is not. This is delicious. Now, put your finger in there. Yeah.
Welch probably wishes they had
They
something
wish
like
they
that.
had. They wish they could afford it.
That's more James.
This is very expensive and very delicious grape juice.
It's really good.
You got to taste it now before we inoculate it. So we're going to inoculate it in a minute. Now, when this is on that side of the winery, we call it a mess. When you come to the philosophical and intelligence part of the winery, we call it must. and that's a wine term. So this, until it is turned into wine, is called must. So anytime you hear the word must, that's a new wine term that you should need to know.
M-U-S-T.
M-U-S-T. Brix, B-R-I-X, is what you watched me over there with the refractometer. Check, so you got must and you have bricks. So we're going to inoculate the must. Inoculation means, another wine term, means we're going to pitch some yeast in here. Now our yeast is very, very strong. It comes from the south of France, from the Bordeaux region, also from the Rhone Valley, and some comes from Italy. The reason why we use that yeast is because it's stronger than any parasitic yeast that you brought in on your earlobes, your eyelashes, your hair, anything that's in this room, or anything that is on those skins right now from the vineyards. Because without adding any yeast and any nutrients, given enough time and enough heat, fermentation would start on its own, but it might take 5 weeks. We got a 1 week model, just like every other winery in the world. We have 3,000 plus people to put through here. So we use very strong yeast and we add some nutrients. We're going to add some thiamine and some vitamins and some amino acids and some diammonium phosphate, and we call that Viagra. Viagra for the yeast, to give it energy so that we can produce wine quickly within that 1 week period. I'm going to show you some of the things that we do, and it's a little bit of the chemistry, but there's no test, and you don't have to remember any of this, okay? But every single grape contains the following items: glucose, fructose, lactic acid, malic acid, water, some amino acids, some pigeon droppings, any kind of things that flew over the vineyard. Every single grape, every one of those contains these items, okay? I'm going to show you some formulae that are associated with that. Again, you don't have to remember it. I just want you to see the recurrence of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen in the winemaking process, which is similar to the building blocks of life, okay? Here's one of the acids, of the sugars actually. This is glucose, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and certain molecular combination, which you don't have to remember. Here's one of the acids, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and on through the process, okay? Anybody remember what this was for basic chemistry? Basic science?
Just hydrogen.
Hydrogen, very good. And
Water.
water, cool.
That's
And
the only one I'll ever know.
how about this one?
Potassium.
Potassium, right. And how about this one?
Potassium chloride.
Potassium chloride, which is a salt. Now I show you that because we have potassium metabisulfite, which we use as a cleaning agent around here and a sanitizing agent, and it's also a preservative that helps the wine last for a long period of time without turning into vinegar. So we got some bags around here with K's on it. So people say, KJ, what's that? Okay, here's another one.
9 parts potassium.
If you think outside the box, K9P, dog pee. Well, you gotta have some fun with this, you know what I mean? How about this one?
Sodium.
Sodium. And
Sodium chloride.
sodium chloride, which is nothing more than table salt. And this one's a tough one because it's a radical. Banana. B-A-N-A-N-A. I should have gotten that one.
I should have gotten that one.
I should have gotten that one. We fool a lot of the chemists and a lot of our chemical professors that come through here. My chemistry professor years ago pulled both K9P and banana on me. I never forgot it many, many years ago. Hydrogen sulfide. Part of the chemistry, nothing you can do about it. It is going to produce hydrogen sulfide, which smells like rotten eggs. So we have to mitigate that by adding diammonium phosphate. Remember I said ammonium smells like ammonia. Well, part of the protocol was you used to mix up the diammonium phosphate, but it was making people nauseous. So what I do now is I make myself nauseous the following day, and I mix it up and pitch it in there to mitigate the hydrogen sulfide. SO2, sulfur dioxide. Without it, we don't have an industry. So we use that potassium metabisulfite to produce sulfur dioxide to preserve the wine. It's only, just because a bottle of wine says contain no sulfites added, doesn't mean there's no sulfites in it. This means they didn't add any. Part of the chemistry. Carbon dioxide. Part of the chemistry is we're going to produce carbon dioxide, and that forces the skins to the surface. But if you pinch those grapes over there, you would see that the juice is clear. Well, if the juice is clear, how does red wine get its color? If the skins are on the surface. Well, that's where you come in during the week of fermentation, and you use the plunger, and you'll actually plunge it down, okay? And you'll do that 4 or 5 times a day. You don't have to do it, but it will be done 4 or 5 times a day. The thing is, you don't want to jam it to the bottom and split the seeds out. It causes bitterness. You got to be very gentle with it because it's a love affair. This is romance. You have to be nice to the wine, okay? So during the week, we'll do it in the morning, I'll do it in the evening, but if you get a chance to come over and do it, and do a whole row, because every recipe is different, you'll see the different characteristics of the different grapes. We're the only winery in the world that lets you do that, believe me. And we'll show you this, tomorrow and the next day if you're over here, the right way to plunge if you come over, okay? Now I talked about yeast. Yeast is nothing more than fungi, fun guys, fun girls getting together, having some fun. With mushrooms, because mushrooms is fungi, fun dude. I remember in the old days we used to do a lot of things with mushrooms. Now I sauteed them in olive oil, shallots, little lemon pepper, little garlic. I don't know what you guys do, but that's what I do. But we're making, after all, ethyl alcohol. Again, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen in certain molecular combinations. Can't burn this in your car. So you can see that carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, winemaking, and building blocks of life, therefore, wine and life go together, like palm and apple pie. What we're going to do now is, with your help, you are going to pitch the yeast. I've pre-hydrated the yeast, which is part of our protocols now. At UC Davis, University of California Davis, at the Enology Department and the Mondavi Institute, that's what they recommend we do. So do our labs. Pre-hydrate, that's what we do now. So, with your help, I'm going to need two of you to come forward and place this, some energy, nutrients, and some amino acids, and some vitamin B1, 5, 8, 12, whatever else, the Viagra as we call it. Go ahead and throw it in and stir it up a little at a time until it's all done. Okay? Go ahead and let your two do that. Yeah. Go to both sides.
Okay, the same thing here? Stir it up?
Yeah, go ahead. Yep, go ahead. Yeah, good.
I'm finally doing something
A little at a time, yeah. Give it a good brisk whisk. You don't want any lumps. A little more, yeah. We got. Just gonna make sure the bottom doesn't have anything. All right, that's good. That's good. Okay, I'm going to need one more system, sir. Now, you're the emergent. This is chemistry, after all, and we don't want any explosions. So,
We have to mix the acid with water. Never put water in the acid. Remember that one?
yeah, I remember very well.
Yeah.
Okay, now if you grab this one, sir.
Okay.
On over here. You should come here, my dear. Yep, bring that. And then you come around, please. You stand right there in case there's an explosion. Use the emergency. Now, what I want you two to do is to pour into the middle. I want the fluids to mix.
Oh, to mix. Okay.
Yeah, right in the middle. Just don't crush the. Yeah, good. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Good job. Doing it?
Pour fast?
Yeah, it's all right. As long as we get it all in and they mix it up.
Okay.
All right, good job. Oh, good. Go ahead and put your scoop it in there.
Okay, rinse it out.
And just throw it out. Okay, good. Okay, now go ahead and put them in that back over there, please. There was no explosion, so we were lucky. Yeah, we were really lucky. It's happened before. Now what I want you to do is to go ahead and go all the way around and finish up right in the middle. Okay, please. Good, good. Finish up in the middle. Great. Okay, now go ahead and put that down. Oh, boy, great. Now what we used to do is start mixing this up right away. But again, UC Davis and our labs say, let things lie. If you let nature take its course, you'll have a more vigorous fermentation. If you look through a microscope right now, you'd see a lot of activity, like a microbiology. Yeah, it's attacking that sugar. It wants it. With the help, with the help of the yeast and the nutrients. So we're gonna, a lot of those organisms are trying to have orgasms right now. I mean, it's going and having fun. So we're gonna let the honeymoon continue overnight, and tomorrow we'll start the bunching process, okay? So I'm gonna put put the thing back on it. Then I'm going to put a little sign on it to keep the room service people away. Do not plunge because there's a honeymoon in progress. We're going to turn down the lights and we're going to play some music, and then tomorrow we'll start all over.
Oh, yes.
So, now, remember what I said, take a picture of this so you remember what your combination was, your percentage. Remember, you just multiply any one of these numbers, like the Petit Verdot by 5, and you get 5% Petit Verdot, 10%, 40%, and the rest is Cab, okay? And for your label, and the percentage of alcohol by volume, okay? So just look at any label on the wall and it has all that, you'll see. So, next week it's a little dirtier now. It's gonna get a little messier. We're gonna go into the barrel, through the press, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with that. So wear something you don't mind getting a little stain, kind of like me, you know. But thank you for your attention, I appreciate it, and have a good time during the week. And if you have questions, I'll answer them as often as you want.